Okay, well, hi everyone, and welcome along to today's training session. My name is Roshni, and I head up customer success here at SweetFiles. And today I'm going to be taking you through templates to set up. And so this webinar is perfect for anyone within the team who is responsible for just helping everyone be organized. So we're going to be covering off folder template setup, and we're going to be looking at basically how you can create a subfolder structure for all of your new clients or your new financial years, so everyone's got the same structure and it's all nice and consistent. We'll also take a look at setting up file and email templates, and that will enable you to fetch client information from Xero Practice Manager, Workflow Max, or Xero Tax. And then finally, we'll take a look at how you can manage all of these templates via the template manager and also give other staff access to this if you need to. So I'll share my screen and we'll get underway. So here you should just see my SweetFiles site. And one of the things to note about the template population in SweetFiles, particularly for those of you who are wanting to feed your client information through. Today, I'm going to be using Xero Practice Manager as an example. So I have my clients in XPM, and there are certain fields that we can pull through onto our documents. So I'll use the example of 99 Corporation in my session today. And so there's certain fields that we can pull through, such as the business name, and we've also got contact information that we can pull through as well. Just note that if you are looking to pull through contact information, so for example, if we go into Bert here, if you go into editing mode for that contact, you can see there's this checkbox called Set as Primary Contact. So if you have a primary contact set, then it will be able to pull through their details onto your templates. So in situations where you're wanting to address a letter such as Dear Bert, then you'll be filling in the salutation field in this contact record in XPM, and we'll be able to pull through Bert in your letters. So it might take a while to just check your content in XPM, and a bit of trial and error will be required. It really does depend on how your data is set up in XPM or how detailed your data is as to what you'll be able to pull through into your SweetFiles templates. So we'll get into that in a little bit more detail shortly, but really the main thing that you need to ensure that you have set up is the integration. So just as a reminder for those of you who are brand new, then you'll need to connect your Xero Practice Manager and SweetFiles together. And you do that by, first of all, checking in your business settings in XPM, under staff, find your name. You'll need to be an XPM administrator in order to do this. And then right down the bottom here under API access privileges, you'll need to have them set to authorized third party full access. Save those changes, and then back in SweetFiles, go into your name, not admin settings, sorry, your name, and then manage integrations. And then you'll be able to follow the steps on the screen. You'll see a connect button here under the practice manager. If you're using Xero Tax, that's the option that you use. You connect to there as well. And then if you're using Workflow Max, then you use this connect button there. So we will actually start off by talking about folder templates. And folder templates are the ones that will help you to set up that subfolder structure for new clients or new financial years, as an example. So this is going to be quite a common theme in today's session. Whenever you're creating something that you want to template, you have to start off with, in this case, the subfolder structure or the folder structure that you want to turn into a template. So step one is to create the structure in SweetFiles, and then we template that folder structure. So what we have in our demo site here is we have templates folder, or folder templates. And you can see here, we've just got millions of examples of what you can set up. So these are literally folders that we have created from scratch. So if we take a look at this one here, so you can see that this has been created back in November, and it's a folder called My New Company Folder Set. And then we've gone through and created new folders by clicking the Create button in the top right corner, then selecting folder and going through this process the very first time of just setting everything up. So that is what I'm going to show you right now. In terms of where you put these folder templates, it is up to you. In our site, we have them set at the home level. So if you want to create that folder structure like us, then you can just simply click Create Folder at this level and then call it folder templates or something along those lines. And that's where you can house all of your folder templates. Or you might wish to put them into, say, a business and perhaps an admin team folder. So I'll set one of those up now. So now that we're in this new folder, we can start to create, let's say, a set of folders that we want to use every time a new company is set up. So if we click the Create button, select Folder, give your folder template a name. So we'll just call this New Client Company Folder Structure. So you'll be able to set up a unique structure for individuals or whatever different types of clients you have, you'll be able to set up a folder structure that works for that type of client. So we'll click Create, and that will create a blank folder. And we just go through the process of creating folders. So I might want a correspondence, or maybe let's just go with email folder. So that will allow my team to file all their emails. Then you just click into the breadcrumb. So go back a level. And then next we'll create a permanent folder. When it comes to creating financial years, my recommendation is to create one financial year first, and then you can template that and then use that structure to create your subsequent financial years. So we'll create a new folder and call that 2021. Then within this 2021 folder, I might have a few subfolders that I want to create, so I'll do that next. Step back, create the next folder. And we'll just do one more. Create folder, and this one will be GST. So once you've created your first financial year folder structure, then you want to come back to that financial year, and then you need to turn this structure into a template. So to do that, you click on the folder name here, that will turn into a drop down, and then you have the option to save as template. So this is going to take 2021, well, it's going to take the 3 subfolders and create a financial year folder template for you. So you give the template a name. So just think about what you're going to call your folder templates so that they're really easy for your team to follow. So they'll be able to see these folder templates whenever they themselves are creating a new folder in SuiteFiles. Even if it's in Xero Practice Manager and you're creating a new client, you'll also be able to see these folder templates. So really important to get the naming convention right. So we'll call this New Financial Years. You'll see me do this quite a bit. I just put dates on everything just so that I can find it nice and easily when I go through the training. And it also is a handy reminder for me to delete things. But for you, you maybe just call it New Financial Year Folders. or something like that. Skip over the description. This doesn't really land anywhere, so don't worry about that. And then just click create and close. And this will now turn those 3 folders into a financial year folder template that has now been added to your template manager, which I'll get into a little bit later down the track. And now what you'll need to do is step back a level once more, and let's create the 2022 folder. This time, now that we have a new a financial year template, we can jump into the choose a folder template dropdown, and we'll find my new financial year folders, 15 December set, click create. So that will take on the 2022 folder name plus my 3 subfolders. So go through the process and add all of the folders that you want for your folder structure. And once you've gotten it to this point here, where you're happy with it and you want to turn this into your new company folder template, you do exactly the same process as I just did for that financial year, where you click the drop down here, select save as template, and this time we're going to be calling it new client company folders. Again, I'm going to put 15 December on that, click create and close. And that has added that entire structure as a template to your template manager. So when it comes time to add a new client, we'll do that by just jumping back home, go into our clients folder. And whenever you're creating a new client, you'll want to be here in the clients level, then create folder, my new client, choose a folder template. So there your new client company folder set will be listed there. Click create, and then you'll find that new client has been created, and it will add those 2 financial years plus that email and permanent folder for you as well. Good. Okay, apologies. I'll just have to figure out what's going on there. Let's just refresh and try that again. So I might just use an older folder template just to see how that goes. There we go. So this particular folder template had some older financial years. If you're just creating, if you've created a folder template like this and you see something straight away that you want to delete, then you can multi-select. And if you have delete permissions, click the 3 dots up here, hit delete. Or if you do not have delete permissions, then you may wish to just move those into the trash. So we'll just hit back a few times until we get back to the home level, pop those into the trash. We'll move them. Oh, okay, that's also great. So that's just telling me that there are already a 2018, 2019 folder in that location. So we'll just leave them there for today. We'll tidy them up later. So from here, this new client is now all set up and ready to go. Apologies, my imagination is not running really wild with me today. So that's why you get a new client folder v2. But hopefully you can see how that will, set up your structure, and these templates will be available to everyone in your team from here in SuiteFiles as well as within XPM. So if we now in XPM wanted to create a new client, click save. Provided you have the SuiteFiles Outlook, the SuiteFiles Chrome extension installed and logged into, then you'll get these prompts. And so if we see here, it's asking us if we want to create that folder in SuiteFiles, And you can see that all of your folder templates that you have added to the system are going to be available from this list. And so again, I might just select the new client company folder set, click create. And so what that will do is it will create the Christmas accounting client folder for us, as well as that link. And then when we go into the folder in Suite Files, you'll see that whole folder structure has been created for you. So that's it for folder templates. Let me know via the Q&A if you do have any questions on that. We're going to go into file templates next. So what I'll do is I'll close that tab and we'll jump back into the home level. And much like our folder templates folder, I have a files templates folder. So again, it's up to you where you store these templates in your Suite Files. We just put them here at the home level because we're in here all the time, but you may wish to file those within the business folder or in the admin team folder. So I'm going to go through a Word document example with you today. And what you can do if you already have a Word document template that you're using constantly, you may wish to just bring that into Suite Files. So drag and drop that into Suite Files. Anywhere where you see the white space, you can just drag and drop that in. And for example, here I have this demo letter and it's a .docx file type. So just note that there is a Word document template format. It might just pay to copy the contents of that and paste that into just a plain old Word document and then bring that into Suite Files. So we create file templates based on a .docx format. You can also template Excel files and things like that. So, but I'll use the Word document example today. And so this one, if we go into the preview of the letter, this is something that we have prepared earlier. So this file has all of the merge fields that we need in order to fetch client information from XPM. So you can see I've got the client name, a few postal details, today's date coming through, and then remember when I was talking about Bert and his details, he's a primary contact, and so we're fetching the primary contact salutation. So these merge fields look a little bit strange, so you're not going to know them off by heart by any means. So where you get them from is our Help Center. And so click on your name in the top right corner of Suite Files, click on Help Center, and these are called merge fields. So what you need to type in is merge fields, and then the 0 merge fields for templates article is the one to jump into. So these are all of the merge fields that you can insert into your documents. We'll also use these same merge fields when we are looking at email templates further down the track in today's session. So you can use a combination of date, client, primary contact. We've got whole examples on address fields as well. So you can just copy and paste an entire address block and pop that into your letter. And we also have, or you also have the ability to set up custom fields within Xero Practice Manager. So this goes briefly through the process for doing that. And say for an example, you can't find exactly what you need to pull through from this main list here, you may need to create a custom field in XPM. So it's fully customizable, and you just have to follow the tag convention. So if you create a custom field such as account manager in Xero Practice Manager, then you can craft your own merge field by just typing out custom in caps, put a colon, and then account manager, all one word. Close that in square brackets, pop that into your document, and you've just created your own merge field. So I recommend taking a look in this article, and if also you wanted me to send you a copy of this template, I'm most happy to. Just reach out to either myself or our support team, which is support@sweetfiles.com, and just ask for a copy of the template that Roshni used in her training session today, and we'll be absolutely able to fire that through so that you've got a really good starting point. So if you've brought your own Word document in, then it's just a case of either editing in browser or opening in Office to make edits to your file and copying and pasting the merge fields from the Help Centre article into your doc. So for example, I'm just going to do a quick edit to the date format. So what I'll do is I'll jump into the article up to the date format. So there are 3 different date formats that we can choose from. So the first one is going to pull through the date, today's date in this format here. We've also got one which will just abbreviate the month or write the whole date out in full in this format. So currently I have the date today text merge field in my document. So instead I'm going to pull through the entire month in full. I'm just pressing Control-C on my keyboard. I do recommend copying and pasting because that way you can't accidentally miss a letter or the formatting. So we'll select this here, and then you have to press Control-V if you're in editing, if you're in the online editor. And then you can easily pick up other formats of your document by selecting text, clicking the format painter, and then just applying that to the text that you've just copied and pasted across so that everything looking nice and consistent. And this particular letter does, you know, it really is a very good example, a very comprehensive example of what you can do with your templates. This here has a whole bunch of, they say, custom activity statements checkbox is yes. So what that means is that in your client records, if there is a custom field that you've created that is a checkbox value, so true or false, is it checked yes or no, then you can pull different things onto your different statements onto your document, depending on whether or not that checkbox is checked or not. So in this letter here, this particular table is just going to, in a list, just say, do you want to receive the following services from us? Based on what we know in XPM, it's going to spit out either yes or no, depending on that whether that checkbox has been checked or not. So we'll see that come to life momentarily. But where you can take your templates to the next level is by pulling through statements that are different depending on whether or not that checkbox is checked or not. And so we have this example here in its GST requirements. It's quite hard to make out in this template. So I'll just jump back into the Help Centre where it's a little bit laid out. It's laid out a little bit more clearly. So right down the bottom here, we have a section called Using Checkbox Merge Fields with Conditions. And so it looks rather complicated, but if you follow the structure that we've laid out here, it's just a case of getting your text right, and then enclosing them in the if and end if merge fields. So this is basically saying if this person is GST registered, so if the GST registered checkbox is ticked, then we will say, as you're registered for GST, we also need to do the following, la-di-da. If they're not registered for GST, we'll pull through this paragraph or sentence. So as you're not registered, there's nothing that you need to do. So if you are going to be using these types of statements or conditions on your documents, this example here is laid out just in a way that makes it easier to read. But when you do paste it into your document, just make sure that these are all there aren't any extra line spaces. That's probably the best bet. Then you don't end up with any rogue lines on your extra spaces on your document. You'll see in my example here, it's all pretty much snapped up into one paragraph. So it looks crazy, but it works. So we'll see that in action very soon as well. If you're going to be using SuiteFile signing, if this is a document that you need your clients to sign, you may wish to also add a section here for their signature. So if it's an engagement letter or something like that, you can just pop in some signature spaces, and then you can add the signing fields when you go through the signing process. So once you have finished editing your document, whether it was in the browser like me or in the Office version in the desktop app, you just close Word and then come back into SuiteFiles. So if we're back at this file templates level here, find the letter you've just been working on, and then like we did with the folder template, we need to now template this letter. So I've got the base document sorted. It's just a case of clicking the 3 dots alongside the letter and selecting Save as Template. It's going to take on the file name for the template is going to take on this document's name. So you've got an opportunity to change this if you want to. I'm just going to add the date. You can also categorize your templates. So this will make it really easy for your team to find them when they go to actually create this for one of their clients. So it might be an engagement letter. So you might want to create an engagement category. So this can all be managed and created in the template manager, which I'll show you a little bit later on. So I'll pop that in the engagement folder for now, and we'll click Save Template. And that letter has now been turned into a template, and it now lives in my template manager. So my team, I can let my team know that this template is now available. What they'll need to do is they'll need to look up their client. So we'll use the quick search to find 99 Corporation. And then say in the letters folder, we'll create a new one. So provided they're starting this process from within the 99 Corporation folder, then what we should find is when we click the Create button and then we select File from Template, we'll be able to look up that letter that we've just created by either using the search and selecting the file, or we can use those categories. So I pop that in the engagement folder, and there's my document. So once they select the file, they will see that the file name takes on the template name, and it will also be appended with the word for, and then the client's name, in this case, will be 99 Corporation. If you want more control over what your file name is, you can type it out from scratch here. Or you can also create a Word document, give the file a name, and then click Use a Template, and I'll show you that quickly shortly. If your client doesn't show up here straight away, so it could be that you haven't created the letter from within the client folder and you're planning to move it into the client folder a little later, or the client might not yet be synced up to SuiteFiles. Couple of scenarios there. Then what it's going to look like is this. So if you're creating the client outside of, if you're creating the letter, if you're creating a letter outside of the 99 Corporation folder, say you're in the business folder, then you can just type in 99 Corp and then select it from the dropdown. If you've only just added 99 Corporation into Xero Practice Manager this morning, it might not have synced up yet. So you can type in the word refresh in this field here, click the orange refresh button once, and just leave it for about 5 seconds, and then it will disappear. Once it's disappeared, then you can clear this text and again, just type in 99 Corp and they should be there. If you're using jobs in Xero Practice Manager, then you can also choose a job from this drop down here. So this we can pull through certain job merge fields as well. There is a separate Help Center article on that. So just looking up jobs merge fields should find you that article, and you'll be able to select a specific job, and so that that letter can be customized for that client, have contact details, and get into the nitty-gritty about job details as well. My template doesn't have any job info, so I'm going to skip that step. And for you, while you're getting used to your templates, you may wish to click Enter Field Values, and that will bring through all of the client merge fields on the left-hand side, so anything that we've coded in this letter. And on the right-hand side will be any of the merge fields that the content that we're expecting to feed through from Xero Practice Manager. So you do have the opportunity to change anything in this on the right-hand side. So for example, the custom accounting software, that's come through blank. Could be a couple of reasons for it. The merge field has just been entered in incorrectly, so you might want to check that out. But most often it's just that the field in Xero Practice Manager has been left blank. And so I'll keep that blank, but you could, if you wanted to, just overtype that and it will feed through that change for this letter. Just note that any of the changes that you make here are not going to feed back into Xero Practice Manager. So you do need to jump into XPM and tidy up your data. And then the next time you go and create a letter for 99 Corporation, then this info should pull through properly. So I'll leave that blank just to show you what happens if you do leave something blank. Fill that in, and then down the bottom here, we have those true false values. And so there will be the one around GST. So you can see that the custom GST registered checkbox is set to yes. And so then that means that this letter will contain that first paragraph rather than the second paragraph. You can toggle these on and off as you need to. If anything's maybe changed at the last minute and you haven't had a chance to go into XPM, you can make one-off changes to your letters here. So we'll click Create, and that is going to create a brand new Word document in Suite Files with all of that client information pulled through. So in scenarios where you have skipped over that edit field values section and you've just gone and hit create, then you need to keep an eye out for any of the merge fields that haven't made its way through onto the document. In this case, because it now is just like any other Word document in my Suite Files site, it just so happens that I've been able to create it really quickly using a file template. You can just go ahead and edit that like you normally would. So I'll edit in browser, fix up anything that you need to. So we'll just get rid of that and overtype that with Xero. There may be some grammatical things that you need to pick up as well. So for example, this says on a invoice basis, so I'll change that to an invoice basis. So it really just depends on what your data is like and what you end up using templates for as to what you'll need to keep an eye out on. But I have seen that people, really put a lot of thought and effort into creating their templates, and they can just confidently hit create and send that document onto their clients. So you can see here under the GST section, it says that our records currently state that you are registered for GST, and then there we go into all of the detail about their GST being prepared, etc., etc. So that's how you can use file templates. So any questions on that, then please do let me know. We're just going to jump into the template manager next before we move on to email templates, and I'll show you how you can manage your folder templates and file templates. Now, the template manager is located under the More dropdown. So if you click on More here, then you should have the Manage Templates option available to you. This is available for SuiteFiles administrators, as well as any standard users who have been provided Manage Template permission. So if you can't see this option and you think you should have it, then you just need to ask your SuiteFiles admin nicely to enable that setting for you. And they can do that by clicking on their name in the top right corner of SuiteFiles, clicking Admin Settings, finding you in the users list, clicking on your name, and then here under your standard access, you'll see the option to allow user to manage templates. So if they toggle that on for you and then navigate away from this page, then those settings or those changes will be saved, and then you can just refresh your SuiteFiles in the browser here, and you'll be able to see the Manage Templates area. So once we're in the Manage Templates area, just note that this houses all of your document or file templates that we just went over. So this is a filter. We also have email templates, which we create from within Outlook. We've also got folder templates. So just to note quickly on our folder templates, they'll all live here, but you can't make any edits to existing folder templates. So that's why it's really handy to keep your base folder structure somewhere in your SuiteFiles site. So you'll recall we started that whole process by creating an admin team folder under business and put our new client company folder set in there. So if I want to make any changes to that going forward, what I would do is go back into the folder. So we'll go back into the admin team folder and jump in here, and let's say new year, new us, click create folder, pop in a 2023 folder template and use the financial year folder set, click create. And once we've done that, we'll want to then re-template the folder structure. So we'll click save as template again. So I'll just call this V2, 15 December, and I spell that correctly. So what we're doing now is we're creating a new folder template that contains 2023. And when we go back into the template manager, go into folders, and what we'll do is we'll find, we've got the two financial year folder sets here. So what I want to do is keep this one and get rid of this one. So I'll click the three dots and hit delete on that one, and then come alongside the new one and possibly just rename that as my master. Click rename. And so my team won't even know the difference. They'll keep having a new financial year folder template, so they can keep on using that one. It's just that you've snuck in behind the scenes and added that new financial year for them. Just a note, when it does come time to create your new financial year folders, you don't have to go through and do that one by one. So we do offer a scripting service here at SuiteFiles. So when the time comes, perhaps, in the new year sometime, you may wish to reach out to us. So just email us at support@suitefiles.com, and there's a small charge for the scripting service if you're on SemiSuite, but you also get 2 free folder generations a year if you're on SuperSuite. So just let us know, and we'll be able to just apply that new financial year and your desired subfolder structure to all of your clients. In terms of what you can do with your file templates, so if we're under the documents option here, and we've got the Abacus Accounting demo letter that we've been working on today, there's a bit more that you can do with your file templates via the template manager. So if you click on the 3 dots alongside any of your file templates, you've got the rename and delete like we saw for folder templates, but you can also do things like categorize your templates. So those categories are just sitting out along the side here. If you're wanting to create a new category, you just click on the tiny little gray plus here, give your category a name, and then that will add that to the list and allow you to start categorizing your file and also email templates. So you will recall that we saved this letter, we put it in the engagement category. So if I want to change that, I can click the three dots, select add, we'll just hover over add to category, and let's just pop that in our letters folder. And if we now go into letters, you can see that that letter has now been moved into there and out of the engagement folder. No point in keeping empty categories hanging around. So if you do need to delete one, just right click and delete. And you've also got the rename option there as well. So if we click on the three dots again, the other options you have, you can download a copy of that template to your local computer. You can also view the fields that you have in this template. So they'll just be listed in alphabetical order. And finally, and probably most importantly, is that you can edit your existing templates. So while you can't do that for your folders, if you do want to make any changes to your file templates, you can click the three dots and select edit, or just click on the name of the file, and that will take you into a preview of that template as it currently stands. And you can make live edits to this and save those changes. And then those changes will be reflected in that template the next time you or one of your colleagues goes to use it. So this area is really handy as well to give you an overview of what merge fields are available. So for example, if I want to change my mind and go back to the older date format, I can choose one of the editing options, which is either edit in browser or open in Office. Again, I'm just going to use the edit in browser option. And these fields on the right-hand side, super easy to copy paste. So we'll select that date to day text. So Control C, and I'm just going to Control V. Sometimes the formatting can be a little bit funny, so I'll just paste text only, tidy up the formatting, and there's actually no save button on this page, but you can just navigate away from this page. So you might click on files, you might click on all templates, click out of the document like so, and those changes will be saved. So if we go back into that preview, you can see the date to day text has been locked in. The other thing that you can do is check, if you were to use a particular client, what data would pull through for them. So if you click on under client information, there's this drop down and you can search for your clients. So we'll have a look at what 99 Corporation will pull through, and you can see that because it's quite a comprehensively filled in client record, it's going to do really, really well if I use this client, if I use a template for this client. If I look at something else, for example, let's say For You Accountants, doesn't have any so many contact details. So it's just a case of, again, going back into XPM, tidying up your data to make that really nice and easy for your team to use templates. So any questions on that, then do let me know. What I'll do next of all, and finally, is I'll talk about setting up email templates. So email templates are super similar to the process that we've been doing so far. So it's a case of creating an email that you want to turn into a template. So I've got some hanging out in my drafts. Okay, let's just use this one here. So the difference between file templates and email templates, I guess, is that you can do just a little bit extra in your email templates, such as include your clients' names, or you can customize your subject lines. So you can pop a merge field into the subject line. In this case, we're wanting to pull through the client business name. You might want to pull through the primary contact salutation, for example. This is a pretty simple example of an email template. You must have some emails that you're sending constantly that you can turn into a template, and you don't have to necessarily use or grab heaps of info or put heaps of merge fields in. This is just a very, very simple example of how you can use it. So I might just pop in an account in the account manager field there, because I think the job manager doesn't pull through anything. And the other thing that you will see here that is I have not included an email signature on this template, or the base template. So the trick is to just leave any email signatures off it, because if when you go to template this and you include, say, your email signature, when one of your colleagues goes to use this template, then it's likely that their signature will automatically go into it. So you're going to end up with a duplicate. So just leave it, as sad as it looks, just leave it without an email signature. And you can also pop attachments to your email templates. So if you have, say, a PDF explainer document, or some services that you offer that you have in a PDF, then you can absolutely attach that document to this email. If you have that file stored in Suite Files, then you can also use the attach from Suite Files to locate that document in your site. Oh, that's not what I was looking for. So if we go down here, you can just click on the file like so, and that will attach it to your email. You can also see that in this case, I've attached a Word document that has merge fields included in its file name. And if I click onto that file and open that up to show you a preview, you can see the document itself contains merge fields. So this is a possibility if you're wanting to use this. You can pop merge fields into, say, a Word document and save that into Suite Files and attach the document into your email. The things to note here are that the Word document is just a Word document. So you could attach the version that we had stored in that files template folder that we originally started the process from. You can't actually attach actual Suite Files email or file templates to emails. So it's just like any other Word document, .docx, just so happens that it has merge fields within it. If you're wanting to also include a merge field in the title of your Word document, like we've done here, you might note, if you squint really carefully, that there is a little swap that we've done to the separator here. So the default one is the colon. The one we need you to change it to is a semicolon. So that just only applies if you are going to be using these merge fields in the file name itself. Within the body of the document, you just use the standard colon separator. And it's just that in SharePoint, the colon is a restricted character, so we can't have those in file names. But the semicolon, it's okay. So our developers have done a little bit of wizardry in the back end to allow you to include these merge fields in your document attachments. So once you're happy with your email template, it's just a case of selecting Save as Email Template, giving your template a name, and if you've got attachments on your template, just select this Include Attachments checkbox, click Save, and there's no pop-up on this screen to let you know that that's been successful, but it should be. If you're in doubt and you want to double check, then you can jump into the template manager in Suite Files, you can also see that we've got a Manage Templates and Suite Files link. So that links you out to the template manager. And so we can check by going into our emails that we have a welcome to Suite 15 December Suite Mail template. So in terms of managing your email templates, they're a little bit limited, kind of like the folder templates. So you can, here in the three dots, you can rename, categorize, and delete. So the categorizing is super helpful, particularly because these email templates are going to be shared across your entire team. So if you have quite a large team and you might wish to split out their templates into their own categories to make them nice and easy to find. If you are shuffling email templates around into categories, then just note that you'll need to close Outlook and reopen Outlook in order to see any changes that you make take effect. So now that I've saved that as a template, I'm just going to close my draft. The other thing to note is that when you want to now use that email template with client information, my recommendation is that you just double check that you're not sitting in your drafts. We want you sitting in your inbox before you hit the new email button. You can also reply to your clients and insert templates as well, but I'll just show you the process of creating it from scratch. So if you click new email, then you've got the Suite Files Outlook add-in toolbar here. So you've got the insert from template option. You'll select your template. Then you're asked which client you want to populate the email with. And so we'll look up 99 Corporation. You can also type in the first few letters of the client name really quickly, and that should also jump to that client's location in that list. Select pre-populate, and that will trawl through and find your merge fields. So it's interestingly enough, it hasn't picked up that one, so I'll have to check that out. But if you do again find any issues with the fields, just double check that that has been filled in correctly. Oh, for this one, there is no data in here. I know that because I did that before. So I'll add Sarab as the account manager. For my account, I actually don't have an email signature insert automatically, but there we go, pop that in. And so just check over the email. You can see here that the client name was added into the subject line, and this document attachment example, if we now click into that, you'll see that the file has been populated with the client information. So again, this method really does rely on your client data in XPM being amazingly filled in, because if you were to send that out and the account manager field is not populated, it'll look a little bit weird. So let's pretend that I'm the director, click save, and that will at least save that, that file, that version of the file, and then you just send the email on its way. So if anyone has any questions on that, then please do let me know. This does bring us to the end of the training session. So if you've been holding on to your questions, now is the opportunity to ask them. I'll stick around for another few minutes. And so if you do have any questions, just pop them into the Q&A section. I'll also pop this recording up on our YouTube channel and share that with you. So in case you want to go over any of those steps again, then you can. If you get stuck along the way, then also don't forget that you can reach out to us at support@suitefiles.com. A really easy way to contact us is by clicking on your username in the top right corner, selecting Contact Support, and then that will take you to our Contact Us form. You can also just easily send us an email, support@suitefiles.com. That will get to us too. Thanks so much everyone for watching. I'll check the Q&A, so do stick around if you're keen to ask or listen to the questions. Otherwise, I'll hope to see you again at another of my webinars soon. Also, we've had a question in. So they've asked, how do you put the template onto a letterhead and save? So what I would recommend that you do is if you have let's just say a Word document that contains your letterhead, so you've got something in the header and footer, then that's, you can turn that into a template in Suite Files. So it's just a case of, again, and it's somewhere in Suite Files adding that letter head. So I'm assuming it's a header and footer, or an image that you've inserted into your header, and maybe some text as part of your footer. So you won't necessarily, I should go back into the folder here. So if we have a look at this example, you can see that we can see the Abacus Accounting logo in the top right corner. So just include the letterhead as part of your template. Whenever you're creating, I don't think in this example, the Abacus Accounting logo is actually in the header itself. It's just in the top right corner of a really narrow margined page. But if you are ever putting something in the header or footer, just note that it won't necessarily show in the Suite Files preview like we're seeing here. But if you open an Office, then that logo will be visible. So if you get stuck along the way, then just reach out to us with an example and we'll take a look at it from our end. But most people will incorporate their letterhead into their templates. And also if you're wanting to just create a standard Word document, like a blank Word document, then you can also do that as well. So pop the letterhead Word document into your File Templates folder, click the 3 dots, select Save as Template, call it letterhead, and then the team can use that using the Create File from Template process. So hopefully that helps answer your question, but if it doesn't, then you certainly know how to get in touch with us. Alrighty, well, we'll leave it there. But again, if anyone does have any other questions or I've just confused you further, then do not hesitate to reach out. We'll be happy to help point you in the right direction. Thanks so much, everyone. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day.